This last month, my business did $48,000 in revenue. I did this solo with no full-time team, no employees on payroll. Do have a handful of editors that I pay for every video they do, but beyond that, there was no one else on my team. And this is truly only possible with the AI tools. Now, I'm working with a lot of different brand sponsorships, but there is not one that makes up the majority of that revenue. And that means there's a lot of relationships being managed, and my goal with every relationship is to make them feel as if they're the only one. And none of this would be possible without AI. So I'm gonna walk you through every single tool I use, why I use it, the cost, and how each one works in the stack towards my goal, which is to build a one-person, $1 million business by the end of 2026. So I removed all the fluff from here. This is the actual stack that I'm using that is generating income for my business. Now, before we dive in, I am so grateful for today's sponsor because they are one of the tools in my stack that we're gonna talk about in a minute here. But if you do wanna get started with Marblism, you can click that first link down below in the description. And when you use the promo code down there as well, you're gonna get an extra 25% off your plan for life. It's by far one of my favorite tools, and nearly everyone watching this video can use it. And you could use their 7-day free trial to get into the software and experience it for yourself. Use that first link down below to get started today. All right, so here's the philosophy behind this before we start talking about the tools, because we really have to position everything to add value, not just be hype. If you do want to operate and run a one-person, $1 million business, we got to stop thinking about work in systems and think about them in workflows. And trust me, I'm a systems person. I love systems, but with workflows, you consider where AI is most important or where it can add the most value, where you could eliminate the human intervention and push all of that to the artificial intelligence. Not only that, you have to get out of your own way when you think, hey, I'll just do it myself. You need to allow the AI to have more capacity in the workflow. And I think this plagues the best of us. We're so smart, we make money on our own that we get in the way of our own success. Trust me, I'm the first to admit that. But the advantage here is that you have all these tools at your fingertips. You have a sales team, a content team, an ops team, a finance team, customer support, all of that without needing any human intervention. The problem is we're not deploying it and deploying it at scale. We're getting in the weeds. We're responding ourselves. We're writing it ourselves. So with the right stack, every single one of those functions can be handled by software and only allow the human intervention to come in when it's needed, to guide the process, to guide the workflow, to make sure things are going in the right direction, but not necessarily working on the mundane. Now, we're gonna break this down into 6 categories that actually matter for your business. First, let's talk about AI employees. AI employees are the foundation. And when I say AI employees, they are different than AI agents. Our first tool today, Marblism, is gonna give you 6 AI employees. You're gonna get an executive assistant, a social media manager, a blog writer, a sales rep, a receptionist to answer your calls, and a legal assistant. And these are not chatbots and these are not agents. These are AI employees. And that means they work autonomously in the background. Connect them to your infrastructure and they're just gonna run on autopilot. For me, there are 3 out of the 6 that move the needle the most for me. The first is gonna be Sunny. He is my social media manager. I would take a recent video I just published on YouTube, drop that URL into Sunny's chat, and he will go off and create content for me, but not just for that day, the next day as well, and the next day after. He's also generating content on his own in the background if I don't send him anything. And this means I could stay active across all my social platforms without having to start from scratch every single day. In today's world, visibility is the #1 problem of why businesses are not succeeding. So if you have no engine of getting in front of an audience, this is a great start. Next up is Eva. She is my executive assistant and she manages my inbox as if it was me managing it. She will categorize everything, draft replies in my voice, and keep me out of email purgatory. Next is Stan, and he is my sales rep. He does all the work of finding outbound leads for me and keeping my pipeline warm. And this is usually the work that gets completely dismissed when you have a plate load of clients or other work that you're doing right now. Doing outbound becomes the last thing on your list. And if I could throw in one more as a bonus, would be Linda, and she is your legal assistant. She's not a lawyer, but she could review contracts for you, pull out anything that you want to address, and make it really easy for you to understand what is happening in your contracts. Now, if you try to hire these roles and get an actual team built, you're probably going to pay anywhere between $6,000 to $10,000 for the 3 to 4 roles I just mentioned. Plus, that doesn't include the time it takes to train them, the overhead, and the inconsistency with human schedules. To hire these 6 AI employees to add them to your team, you could get started today for less than $25 a month. This is the closest thing I have found to hiring a team without having to hire a team. And that's why Marblism started the conversation. The next main category is going to be content and media. This is going to be your output engine. I mentioned earlier how content is the foundation of visibility, and this is how I build trust with my audience before they ever spend $1 with me. And it's how I build trust with brands before they ever message me. And every single dollar of revenue in my business is tied to the trust I build through my content. Thank God I've been able to work with some of the top brands like Google or Adobe, Framer, Squarespace, Wix, a lot of billion-dollar brands that I am so grateful to work with, but it all started through content. Now, the tools that matter the most in this stack are going to be Notion, where I manage all of my projects, Claude, that helps me finalize all of my scripts, Tela for screen recording and doing videos on my own, and Descript that helps me prep everything for publish. Those 4 tools and their AI capabilities replace what a project manager would have on their task list as their role. From drafting scripts to organizing information to recording my screen when I'm doing a video like this, and then preparing everything for publishing, I'm able to scale my output because of it. Currently, we're doing a project where we are filming and publishing 100 videos in a 90-day window. And this is only possible because of this stack. Now, whether you're publishing content on YouTube or Instagram, you're gonna have a similar stack. You'll probably need your phone or a camera to record, and then you'll need some corresponding tools to make it all come to life. Now, if you are writing any type of blog content when it comes to SEO and AEO content optimization, I use ClearScope. That is by far the best tool for learning how to rank and grade your content against the right systems so that it shows up in Gemini, ChatGPT, and Perplexity. And if you really do want the edge, I definitely recommend checking out SEMrush as well. Now, before I go any further, I am mentioning a lot of tools. If you want the entire list of all the tools that we're gonna talk about, all the links will be down below. But if you want an even more in-depth playbook with discounts for as many of these tools as possible, definitely click the link down below that will give you access to my private link where you get hundreds of dollars of discounts so that you could start your business the right way. Now, back to this stack, I don't need a project manager, a content strategist, and those normally would cost $5,000 to $6,000 plus a month. And as well, when it comes to generating hooks, I built my own tool that I vibe coded and have paid users with called Hook Faster. And I built that because there was nothing out there that could solve the problem the way I needed it solved. Now, we've talked about AI employees, content, and now let's talk about websites and landing pages. This is the backbone of every single business. Look, and I've built over 300 websites. I was a website designer for a decade before I turned into a full-time content creator. By far, favorite website tool is Framer. I'm sorry to all the other tools out there, but I just need to say it. Framer lets me build production-grade sites in a fraction of the time that it used to take, with AI to assist in any step of the process, as well as the latest and greatest in design language and expressibility. You want a website that resembles who you are, not just a template. And Framer allows you to do that. There is a bit of a learning curve, but I am telling you, since I launched my own portfolio site on Framer 2 or 3 years ago, I have gotten nothing but compliments. And by the way, it is a template from Cedric. Shout out to Cedric. His template is beautiful. It was exactly what I needed. I built it and it looks like a one-of-one website. I added my own little flares to it, but it feels like nothing else out there. And it's helped me land a lot of projects. Now, if you do want to create something simpler, definitely check out Durable as well. They are a great tool and it is like a business in a box. So it's a great way to kick off your entire business with one tool. And trust me, as someone who reviews software for a living, you want to use the least amount of tools that you need to. And Durable is going to give you a website builder, a blog builder, invoicing, discoverability, and a brand builder all in one. And if you do just need a website and you do want something simple, check out Squarespace. All right, now that you have all of these steps, you gotta think about communication and the relationship layer of your business. There are two, maybe more tools that I'd recommend here. The first is gonna be Quo. This is your business phone. You're gonna get a second number that you could add to your mobile device. Calls are gonna appear like normal, text messages are gonna appear like normal, but the back end is a million times more advanced than your phone currently. You're gonna be able to record all the calls, you'll get AI call summaries, and you could even have an AI receptionist answer calls for you. And that receptionist can do a lot. That receptionist on your behalf could send text messages to anyone who calls. And let's say, for example, the next step is to book time on your calendar. They could text the link to the person who is calling. No human intervention required. Not only that, it's a shared inbox. So that means you, or if you do need to add anyone on your team, like a virtual assistant or someone else, they would have access to see into those conversations as well. I have reviewed a lot of the VoIP phone systems out there, and I've personally used Quo for the last 5 years. Next up, let's talk about CRM. The CRM I use right now is Folk. It's clean, it's the most modern, it's super user-friendly. It does have some issues that I'm not a big fan of, but overall, it'll get you up and running fast. The issues are that the user experience is a little bit clunky, and it's not as smart as you hope the technology would be. Now, I definitely don't recommend HubSpot or Salesforce. Those are overkill enterprise-level solutions, and for most small and medium-sized businesses, it is just way too much and way too expensive. I've been using Folk for the last few months and I do really like it. There are a few things I wish they did better, but overall I think it's a great choice. I am going to test out Adio in the future, which is another CRM that seems pretty simple and basic, but these tools just sometimes are built for way too many people and so they do nothing really well. I even think the current Folk extension, which is really important to your entire workflow, it shuts down my Chrome if I have it installed. So every once in a while I'll just be working and out of nowhere it just completely shuts down all of my tabs. And maybe it's not the extension, maybe it's something else, but ever since I removed it, I have not dealt with the issue. If anything changes, I'll leave it in the description down below. But overall, I do think it is a great tool. If you like Notion, you're gonna love Folk. Now, category 5 is gonna be operations and your knowledge base. This is your memory layer. You need somewhere to store everything. And for me, Notion is our operating system. Every script, every project, every database with every SOP lives in Notion. When I start a new relationship with a brand, we have an intake form that is built in Notion, and that adds all the information into our database, which makes it accessible for me as I'm scripting the video, and also accessible to the editors when they're editing the video, and also available when we get to publishing to make sure everything is cohesive. I always like to ask with software like this, if I lost this tool tomorrow, how much would it affect my business? And I'm telling you, Notion is one of those things that they have gone overkill with all these bells and whistles, but the core functions of Notion, especially databases, are foundational to my business. Next, for communication and meeting notes and call transcripts, I use Granola. I used to be a huge fan of Otter, and honestly, I still think it is a great solution, but it's built more for enterprise level customers. Granola, though, will capture every call, generate clean notes instantly, and give you the ability to chat with any AI model that you want inside of Granola against your meetings. Plus, they have this thing called recipes that makes it really easy for you to extract all the best parts of any meeting with one click. Then for passwords, I love using 1Password. This is a non-negotiable for my business. I have so many accounts that I need to log into, and I need to make sure my data is protected and that none of my passwords, if they're stolen or if they're leaked, that it compromises all my other accounts. So I need a different password for every single account. And that is completely possible with 1Password. Finally, when it comes to finance and the admin, I like to keep this lean because sometimes this could get really bloated for no reason. Personally, I use Chase for my business banking, as well as a tool called Found. Found is going to handle your business banking as well as built-in bookkeeping. And this replaces me having to pay monthly for a bookkeeper. As well as for contractor payments, I could do all of that through Found as well. If I need signatures or contracts, I use Sign Now, and that covers me completely. And yes, I have human lawyers and CPAs who help me with the foundation of everything I have set up, but the day-to-day management is done with me and the assistance of AI. Now, two other tools that I use in my business that are invaluable is how I actually get payments. I could get payments through Found, but I could also get payments through Stripe and my Blink store. I am a co-founder with Blink, but this is by far the best solution out there that replaces Polar, Lemon Squeezy, or Gumroad. Now, when it comes to receiving payments, I do not have any subscriptions, so there are no outgoing fees until you actually make the transaction happen. So my Found account allows me to accept credit card payments and ACH payments. I could also use Stripe. And when it comes to my digital products, I use my Blink store. So if you are selling digital products, definitely check that out. And there is no monthly subscription tied to it to get started today. Now let's talk about the math about this stack. First, we started with Marblism that starts at $24 a month when you pay annually. Then we have Tella that starts at $19 a month. Then we have Notion, which you could use for free, but we pay for the business one at $24 a month per person. And then Claude is a no-brainer starting at $20 a month, and Descript starts at $24 a month. From there, when you look at ClearScope, that's probably one of the most expensive software tools that we're looking at, which starts at about $189 a month. And if you go to SEMrush, you're probably at $200 a month to get started. And Durable starts at $25 a month. Next, you could get started with Quo at $19 a month, and Folk is at $25. Apollo starts at $59 a month, and then Granola starts at $18 a month. 1Password, cheapest one on here, is less than $4 a month for an individual, and then $5.99 a month for families. Found starts at $35 a month, and Sign Now starts at $10 a month for business. Oh, and Hook Faster starts at $10 a month. Now, if we try to put this in perspective and hire humans to do all of these functions of the stack that we've covered, conservatively, you're looking at anything between $15,000 to $40,000 a month in labor costs. Doesn't include payroll taxes, benefits, plus management, overhead, churn, and all of that. This entire AI stack comes in at just about $500 to $600 a month. Now, I know that might seem like a lot of money, but compared to what it produces, this is pennies on the dollar. I'm doing some light math with Claude right now, and the total is showing $549.99. If you go for some of the annual plans and you get rid of ClearScope, you're looking at less than $400 a month. $400 for your entire stack of 6 categories of employees. For me, this produces anywhere between a 15 to 20x return on the investment. And that's the only way I'm actually able to build a one-person million-dollar business in 2026. It's not because I'm working harder, and maybe in some ways I am, but it's because this stack is doing the work of 15 humans. Now, looking forward, to go from the $48,000 to the $84,000 a month, which is the math on a million-dollar business, I don't think I need any more tools. I think the stack is set. What I do need more of though is more output, which is going to be more YouTube videos, which leads to more sponsorships, more content, more distribution, which means a bigger audience, which means the entire flywheel starts over again. The infrastructure is in place, and I really believe by the end of this year, if not sooner, we're going to hit an $84,000 month. If you're trying to build something similar, whether it's solo, lean, or leverage AI to the fullest capabilities, start with AI employees. That layer compounds the most, and you could get started today for less than $24 a month. Plus, you're gonna get an extra 25% off for life when you use that first link down below. And if you do want this full list with all the discounts, because it would be way too much time to try to go through it all in this video, definitely click the link to my website down below, where you could just drop in your email and I'll send it to you immediately. I've negotiated discounts with a lot of these brands on your behalf. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this video and you want more content like this, subscribe. If you have any questions, use the comments down below. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.